26 male. At the end of the morning, we're gonna have the 8 base climber for tonight. Remember that we start the final.
Good morning and welcome to the second round of the IFSC Lead World Cup Series 2016. I'm Charlie Bosco, IFSC route setter, and former World Cup competitor Christian Bindhammer is alongside me, and we are live in Villars, Switzerland. Home to 1,200 people, Villars sits at 1,253 metres above sea level. It lies in the Swiss canton of Vaud and enjoys some of the finest views in the Alps. The bad weather initially followed us from Chamonix, but I'm pleased to report that we now have perfect blue skies, and after frostbite being the biggest worry last night, it's now sunburn, which is exactly how we want it. So, Christian, you're involved in setting these routes. What can the athletes expect today?
Yeah, today of course it's important to qualify for the finals, which means you have to go under the best 8, and of course we have done the routes that normally there should be just 1 or 2 going to the top. Yeah, we have the situation at the girls that we have 2 really good athletes this season.
Anak and Janja?
Yeah, right. We watched, of course, the competition in Chamonix, which was the first Lead World Cup this season, and we think that these 2 will be doing the first place under these two climbers. Yeah.
Well, if you missed our qualifying highlights package yesterday, 3 out of the 4 qualification routes were top. Janja Garnbret was the only woman who topped both the women's routes, and only one of the men's routes was actually topped, so one remained unconquered. As you can see there, our wall in Villars. If you watched us in Chamonix, you will have known that we had terrible weather, and it followed us initially to Villars, but we now have perfect views and newly snowy mountains. You can see them behind the wall. It snowed very low. It's been absolutely freezing. Now warm and sunny. We should be in for a great day. Christian, before we came on air, we had a very interesting quick chat. We've been doing the Bouldering World Cups this year, and you were talking about the difference between bouldering and lead climbing for the athletes. For people that have been watchers so far, how does it change? How is this different to bouldering for the competitors?
Yeah, what I like at lead climbing is that you have to find the balance. You have to find the balance between risky moves and to be on the economical side in the first part of the route, to have at least the power for the mostly difficult end part. So this makes quite difficult, and it needs the complete climber.
Yes, you need to be able to shift gears in a way that you don't with bouldering, work out when to use your energy and when to save it. So just quickly run you down our start list for today. In the women's competition, Evelyn Fuchs, no giggles at the back, will be followed by Asia Golo, Katarine Chung, Claudia Gisolfi, Gabriela Vrablikova, Meiko Taki, Nolwenn Berthier, Rebecca Carmin, Anne-Sophie Collet, Alina Reng, Hannah Schubert, Nikki van Bergen, Dinara Faktorinova, Katerina Posch, Yuka Kobayashi, Mathilde Becerra, Charlotte Jurif, Christine Schranz, Jessie Pilz, Magdalena Rock, Elan Yannico, Salone, Roman Risa Ota, Mina Markovic, Julia Chanardi, Jane Kim, Anak Verhoeven and Janja Garnbret, the 2 women that Christian mentioned as being extremely strong this year. If that sounded like a lot of names, it's because 28 women are in today's semi-final due to some ties down the order yesterday in the qualifiers. And our first male competitor is out. That's Nicolas Collin of Belgium. He'll be followed by Martin Tekles of Germany, Loic Timmermans, Boban Primozic. Ramonet will be out 5th. Again, not a great day for him. Nathan Michel, Stefano Carnati, Sasha Lehmann, Charlie Blaine, Mael Bonzon, Masahiro Higuchi, Yuki Hada, Sebastian Halenka, Thomas Johannes, Kokoro Fuji, Jiwon Park, Han Woo Kim, Sean McColl, Minoru Nakano, Naoki Shibatani, Kachiro Karanaga, Jakob Schubert, Sean Bailey, Stefano Giusolfi, Guti Azupa, and last week's winner from Chamonix, Domen Skofic, is out last, having qualified in 1st place. And we have our first climber in both the men's and women's competition out on the wall, Nicolas Collin and Evelyn Fuchs. Evelyn, a Swiss local. And Christian, what is if you could summarise the style of these routes?
Yeah, I would say this wall is not too high, so the routes are not as long as for example, in Imst, where you have a really big wall, or also in Arco. So it's a little bit more maximum power endurance style, and I think that's very nice to watch. It goes a little bit faster. It's always interesting, so I like it.
You can probably tell from the pictures on your screen that a lot of the wall's still in shade right now, but the sun is coming around very quickly. I think within a few climbers, everyone will be bathed in sunshine.
Allez, attention les Belges pour encourager Nico. Un centre de décision, voilà, il faut encore garder la lucidité, pareil pour Evelyne. Allez, les mouvements qui sont longs.
As we see, Evelyn slips off, gets a round of applause from the local crowd. And Nicolas still battling.
Yeah, he's fighting good. Doing really nice.
This looks like a very physical section. Is there a knee bar there?
Not really. You can do a little rest, but it's not like a no-hand.
So the men's route now begins to go to Nicolas' left as he slips off.
Yeah, but it was a good try. It's a good first height.
Absolutely, first man out. Now next, in the women's competition, we'll have Asia Golo of Italy and Martin Tekles of Germany will be out. Christian, you will know Martin well, a fellow German. What can we expect from him?
Yeah, basically he's a really powerful climber. He's not the tallest, so this makes sometimes some problems for him. But mainly, I would say in this route, it could be a really suitable for him. So I hope that he have a good run.
So you heard it here first. A possible dark horse in Martin Tekles. For 49th last time out in Chamonix, Martin. So he's already guaranteed to beat that.
Yeah, he already did better when he reached the semi-final.
Yep.
For him it's very good.
Everything is a bonus from here.
Okay, and if you're from Germany, please cheers Mr. Martin Tekles. Allez, petit gabarit allemand, Martin, mais qui est présent avec nous sur les Coupes du Monde depuis pas mal de temps maintenant.
As we watch Azigolo, and this this women's route, is it a similar style to the men's?
It's the first the start is yeah, quite powerful athletic moves. Then in the middle part you have some slopey volcano holds, which is mainly, I would say, not too easy for the girls. And then the very hard end, of course.
Of course. And the volcano holds.
Yes.
They're not the friction is not the same on the holds there.
No, no.
Just explain that.
Yeah, it's just inside you have the friction, and on the outside you have not really a possibility to stand with the foot. So it's yeah. There's no friction at all.
Makes life difficult. And we see Asia on these black volumes. As she moves to the left, you'll begin to see the first of the so-called volcano holds. They look enormous, but actually the friction's actually on a very small part of the hold.
And normally, on normal climbing holds, you also have some friction for the thumb, and this you don't have on these holds. So you have to find the balance a bit.
As we watch Asia, she enters the volcano section. You can see in the bottom right of your screen there, Martin on route 1, on men's route. And Martin showing that power.
Yeah, he's doing really good. Good job till now.
Slightly awkward clip for Martin. He's just composing himself as he makes her way through the volcanoes. Women's route. Martin just slipped off. As does Asia.
And also for the Italian girl, there were too many volcanoes in one row.
So next out we will have Loic Timmermans in the men's competition. He would have expected to qualify higher, one of the surprises. In fact, we have 3 surprises in a row. Urban Primozic, I think, would have hoped for more, as would Ramone. But they made it through. Catherine Chung of Switzerland will be out next on the women's route.
Sixième place du championnat suisse national. Catherine qui est un petit peu quand même la tête la plus affûtée sur les dernières années pour la Suisse. Alors je rappelle quand même parce que la Suisse, évidemment vous le savez, mais si vous n'avez pas trop suivi,
here he comes. Here's Loic. As I say, would have hoped for more out of qualifying. Catherine makes her way across to the women's route. Loic not been quite his usual form recently, 19th in Chamonix.
Venir jouer dans les finales, Loic qui progresse d'année en année.
Extremely experienced competitor Loic for his age. Not quite clicked for him this year. Is today the day? Catherine on the women's route. You can see there on the right, climbing in front of a home crowd. Second event of the year in Switzerland for the IFSC. We were in Meiringen back in April. So Christian, these volume moves that we can see Loic on now, what sort of speed should the climbers be climbing at? Is this an area where you conserve your strength, or is it just full gas?
Actually, in the semi-finals, in the first part, you have to find the right speed for the moves. So it's you have to stay comfortable, but still you have to risk, yeah, not too much. And it's every move is a bit difficult, you know. In this route, in the semi-final route World Cup. So yeah, it's about not to spend too much time on the hold and to go quite fast, bit higher.
As we see, Loic been around this circular right foothold a while now. Now he moves up. We saw his leg shaky earlier with the effort.
And of course you have always the clipping positions, which spend also some or take some energy out of you. So this have to be always quite well planned where you have to clip.
At this level of climbing, the clipping is almost a move in itself. It can cost you a lot of energy if you get your position wrong.
Yeah, it's also very important if you set the routes that you find the right clipping positions and the right balance, that they are able to clip in a proper position.
So for every clip on a World Cup route, there should be a relatively easy position to clip, or a logical place to clip from.
Yeah, there is always a logical position to clip, and if you miss the logical position, if you go too high, if you are a little bit pumped, then it could be really easy over for you.
We saw that in Chamonix in the final. There was a clip that not many of the competitors got right. You just saw on the right of your screen there, Catherine slips off.
Yeah, so actually they are big holes, but they are not so good like they look like, you know.
From here they look superb, but there's Loic also off. I was up on the cherry picker that they used to bolt the holes onto the wall, and they are not nearly as good as they might look on your screen. Next we'll have Urban Primozic on the men's route, and Claudia Gisolfi, his brother Stefano is also competing. Claudia 3 years younger. She'll be out next. 3 years younger than her brother, I should say. She's out next, and here she is.
Claudia aussi progresse très bien, la petite italienne. Son frère a fait deuxième la semaine dernière du côté de Chamonix. Et Domen Mister Urban Primozic qui fait partie des 3 meilleurs grimpeurs slovènes.
So just to recap, 3 competitors in. Loic Timmerman currently leads the way. And in the women's competition, Asia Golo currently leads ahead of the 2 Swiss athletes we've had out so far. And Claudia, straight into it. This lower section on the women's route, it looks quite different in style from the upper route. Is that the case when you climb it?
Yeah, of course the holes are different, because there you have some little holes on the big flat ones, on the volume style holes, and so it's more crimpy, the first part, and then if you reach the volcanoes, it's more the slopey part.
So shift in styles higher up this women's route. Just to recap, that's not Loic Timmermans on the men's route, it's Urban Primozic. Urban, he was in the semis last week in Chamonix, 20th place.
Yes, the Slovenians are really good climbing country, you know.
Yeah.
So it's incredible. It's just a small country, but they have a really good potential of climbers, and they train very hard. So yeah, that's the reason why they are really strong.
Well, we saw 4 days ago in Chamonix a Slovenian win in both men's and women's competition, Domen Skofic and Janja Garnbret. It is quite extraordinary, Slovenia. They also breed very good alpinists. It's a country of tough climbers. Urban's setting a fast pace here, as is Claudia Gisolfi.
Yeah, both doing really good. Oh.
That was what we call commentator's curse. Claudia just slipped off, heading for that.
Yeah, like I told you, it's not so easy if you have not a thumb on the holds. You cannot control so much, so you have more to use the body power, the body tension, and there you see on that move that you really have to hit the next volcano.
As I say, just ignore that graphic on your screen. That is not Loic Timmermans. That is Urban Primozic.
Next competitor representing Czech Republic,
Gabriela Vrablikova.
So Urban takes the highest point till now.
Urban, yes, takes a very early lead.
Yes. Cool.
Is this the correct method of doing these moves now?
It's one of the cruxes, yes. Right. Oh.
Just needed to find somewhere for the feet. On that move left then to the volcano on the men's route,
yes.
What's the best use of the feet there?
Yeah, you have to put the foot into the volcano on the left, and then you have to delicate move. You have in the same point when you grab the hold where the foot is in. You have to take out the foot, you know. So it's kind of tricky.
So no climber in either men's or women's has yet made it onto the final panel of the wall. Remember that the climbers do climb in reverse order of their qualification. So if you're top after the qualification, you climb last. So theoretically, and it is obviously very theoretical, theoretically the strongest climbers should come out last.
But of course now we see Ramon, and he is one of the strongest in the circuit, and it could be that he will do a really good height now.
Absolutely.
That's the first proof for us as route setters.
Do you find that when you watch competitions now you're nervous watching, or as a route setter?
Yeah, actually you're always nervous if you watch the competition, because you never know if everything gets right, if the difficulty is right. Yeah, on the route setter side you always have quite big pressure. You try your best, but you cannot guarantee that everything is absolutely correct and that the result will be perfect, you know. So, in one case, it's something what is also makes the climbing interesting.
Do you find you're more nervous as a route setter than you were as an athlete?
As an athlete, I was more nervous, of course.
So it's not quite as bad as an athlete, the nerves.
Yes.
As we see there, Ramonet is on the wall.
Yeah, yesterday I had the feeling that he don't like so much the kind of PU holds which are used there, because they are, they have not as much friction. So he's more the climber who like to control the moves, and I found in the qualification that he lost a lot of power during the climbing, because he don't feel so well on the holds.
Ramonet, a true veteran, still as motivated as ever. We chatted to him in Chamonix, very open about the fact he'd like another world championship.
Yeah, actually he's the oldest climber in the circuit, if I can say that. I compete with Ramon many times together, so still cool to see that he can still be in the final and can win a competition. It's incredible how long he is in the climbing circuit till now.
For those of you just tuning in this Saturday morning, Ramonet is on the men's route. And on the women's route, Meiko Taki. Meiko Taki, who you will possibly know from the Bouldering World Cups this year, got 4th in Chongqing. That was the highlight of the season so far. As Ramonet continues his indifferent start to the season.
He made a little mistake because he don't put up the foot on the big foothold. And he wanted to do it dynamically to the next volume, and that was a wrong decision for him.
It'll be interesting to see how Meiko Taki gets on. As I say, we have seen her doing well in the bouldering this year. No podiums, but 4th place in Chongqing. Shouldn't be lacking power for a route like this. So she's heading towards this volcano section that we've been talking about. Only the centre of the hold has any friction. The rest of it is, would you say, useless?
Yeah, useless.
Completely useless. The holes look enormous. They look enormous. The usable part is actually quite small, but Meiko Taki,
yeah, she's doing really, really good. And I have the feeling that the Japanese climber, they like the kind of holes. I think they are quite used to have not too much friction on the holes, and you see that they are really focused to do the next moves without reacting too much on the friction side.
You can see here from how Meiko Taki's climbing, she can only really use the very centre of these volcano holds, but she's using them well. A drop knee, this is the highest attempt we've seen yet on the women's route.
Yeah, the problem is that she's wrong in the sequence, so she would need the left one with right hand, and yeah.
So I think she's realised
it's hard to change. It's hard to change. The girls are incredibly strong to change holds, but it's not everywhere possible.
And Meiko Taki just slipped off. She just had her leg behind the rope there. It's a slightly awkward fall. As we see her lowered to the ground, she's just off your screens, but she looks absolutely fine. Yes, no issues at all. Just had her leg behind the rope, hence the slightly awkward fall. Okay, so Nathan Michel is on the wall. And heading towards the men's high point so far. Powerful sections already, stopped a couple of climbers, and he clever use of the drop knee. Now you think the best way here is to jump or to try to be static? You have to jump.
No, he made it perfect. Really good climb till now. But he was on the right hand, he was too pumped from the pressure section. It's a very intense section, this part, because the holds are not really good, and you have to be with full body power and pressure into the volumes.
We just saw possibly a sign of fatigue as he lunged left for that first volcano hold on the men's route. He was actually missed the key friction, high friction part by quite a bit. He slapped the top of the hold. Not accurate enough, as I say, possibly a sign of fatigue kick in. So next we have Nolwenn Berthier on the women's route.
Italie qu'on peut applaudir s'il vous plaît, Stefano Gannati, 98. Il a 18 ans.
Making light work of this lower section. She'll head towards the plaque 4 volumes. You can see them there on the right of your screen. Top right, there we go, with the red volume in the middle. And then she'll be left into the volcanoes, just so you can begin to get some idea of the layout of this route.
Et on aura un nettoyage de la voie à partir du 13e grimpeur chez les garçons et à partir de la 14e.
34th in Chamonix, Molwem. She'll certainly beat that today.
Normally after the bit number 13 for men and 14 for
Stefano Carnazzi is out onto the men's route. '18-year-old from Italy. Now though, we will focus on Nolwenn.
Yeah, she climbed the first part really good, without losing a lot of power. So, in my opinion, till now, the best performance in the first part.
Yes, apart. Oh, Christian, I think.
But it was just the first part. Sorry.
I think we can't allow you to make predictions. It's not a good idea. As we focus on Stefano for now.
C'est déjà la 8e, hein, c'est lancé, ça va assez vite, c'est normal, la voie est difficile. Allez, elle arrive, la grimpeuse.
Good performance so far from Stefano. He was 43rd in Chamonix, another climber guaranteed to already beat that. So making his way up. He's now at the point where there's what initially looked like a knee bar, but isn't a knee bar.
Yeah, right. But this section could be suitable for him because the Italians, they are really strong in finger power, and the holes are not so big there. So yeah,
3 times now.
No luck. This semi-final.
So Rebecca Kamin of Slovenia, one of many strong Slovenians, is out onto the women's route. As we just recap the results for you, Urban Primozic currently leads away. Another strong Slovenian. In the women's competition, Meiko Taki, better known as a boulderer, currently leads away in the women's standings. A lot of climbers still to come though. Sasha Lehmann is out. Climbing in front of his home crowd, gets a warm reception. Christian, we can just feel the sun on us now in our commentary box. Do you think the conditions will change in the next couple of hours?
The wall will get more into the shade, so I think it's a perfect conditions for the climbers. Till now, of course, the last part is in the sun, but yeah, nobody reached this part till now. So, and if it will go later, also the upper part will be in the shade. So, I think they have good conditions, good friction, and I think also it's a really fair competition, this semi-final, because it's nearly for everybody the same conditions. So.
I was hoping the sun might hit the wall just to improve the quality of our pictures. The climbers are in the shade, but actually you can see just fine. And as you say, conditions are excellent.
As a climber, you like more to climb in the shade, you know. So you don't like the sun. Of course, the pictures are more nice with sun.
Of course, of course. Everybody has their own reasons. We like the sun because we can see better, but as you say, makes the competition fair for the athletes and they prefer it. As Rebecca Kamin, Slovenia, making her way up into the volumes. Hasn't been troubled much so far.
Yeah, this is an athletic move there. She did very well.
You can see her on the top left of your screen. We've got Sasha Lehmann on the lower section of the men's route on the main screen. And Rebecca nearing the high point of Meiko Taki, who currently leads away. Sasha still relatively low down on the men's route. Just beginning to enter the extremely physical upper section of these black volumes. And Rebecca looking very control, just as her foot slips off.
Yeah, she was wrong in the sequence, and then the distance is quite far. it was quite far from the right, less good ring to the left ring. So then she had no pressure on the foot, and this was the reason why she slept off.
Just see a slip there.
But finally, I can say till now it works for the root setters, so we are quite happy till now.
Sasha Lehmann off the men's route. So if you're just getting up this Saturday morning in Europe, or if you've got up extremely early in America and you're watching us, we're live in the beautiful Swiss village of Villars. We had some terrible weather during the period when the routes are being set. I'm pleased to report that for the competition itself, we're now bathed in hot sunshine and more worried about sunburn than frostbite, which I have to say last night during the speed final was the big worry. I've got Christian Binthammer alongside me, IFSC route setter and former IFSC competitor and 9-time German champion, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
9 times. Former Arco Rockmaster. And Anne-Sophie Collet is out on the women's route, climbing in front of a home crowd here in Villars. If you ever get the chance to head up to Villars, highly recommend it. Lovely little town. And Sophie climbing intelligently so far. Good use of the feet. We've seen a couple of drop knees, efficient climbing. And she's heading towards the 4 black volumes with the red volume in the middle. And she gets a cheer from the local crowd.
Charlie Blin, pareil, en étant jeune, il a souvent remporté pas mal d'Open internationaux.
So, Charlie Blin of France is out, number 64. On the men's route, you can see in there, top left. We will stay with Anne-Sophie Collet though. 18-year-old from Biel in Switzerland. She was 7th. Chamonix 4 days ago, made the final. Only 19 years old, but very composed climbing thus far. Just shake it out before heading for the volcano, excuse me. Christian, you helped to set these routes. This volcano section of the women's route that Anne-Sophie is entering now, what's the main physical attribute that you need? Is it endurance, power endurance?
You have to trust yourself for the moves, because you have to do the moves dynamically. You feel not really strong on the holds because you have not the thumb as help. So yeah, you have to move quite fast. She's doing good till now.
So it seems like she has the sequence correct here.
Yes.
She's going to cross.
She is correct in the sequence.
Cross.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice, nice.
So she's the first climber that we've seen who figured that out the first time.
Really nice. She did right.
So that section we've just seen Anne-Sophie negotiate.
But she has to clip.
She does have to clip. She's remembered.
I hope she can clip.
That's a shame, that's wasted energy. She had to come back, and now she can't find a position to clip from.
Yeah, probably that works. Come on.
And Sophie Collet here, we see she's got the furthest of any. She got the furthest of anyone.
Yeah, she missed to clip from the big volcano. She was very fast in the sequence, which was really good, but then she missed the clip. Yeah.
Frustrating for Anne-Sophie there. She's climbing extremely well. First climber we've seen to figure out that sequence at the top end of the volcano section. Should have clipped earlier, and as we mentioned, at this level, clipping is really a move in itself. So Alina Ring, also of Switzerland, will be out next. Here she is. Switzerland well represented today. 4 women in today's semi-final. Must be something in the water here. Only 18, Alina. Maëlle Bonzon, France, our 10th climber out, is onto the men's route. If you're just tuning in, you may have had a look at the IFSC website, and you'll see that we have 28 women in today's semi-final due to some ties in the qualifying round. In the men, we have the usual 26. So Alina Ring, what can she do with this women's route? So here she makes her way towards the black volumes. The last move before she's there she is. A clip from here. And then there's quite a powerful cross-through, although she makes it look not especially powerful. So you can see bottom left of your screen a quick recap of the results of who we've had so far. We're on to our 10th climber in the men's competition. And here's the women's results. Anne-Sophie Koller leads the way. Sad to see she just missed out on a clip, and it readjusting cost her. But she made the final last week in Chamonix. Who knows, may well have done enough to reach it here. You would imagine it will be touch and go if she has done. Maybe.
Surprisingly full.
Yeah, she looked in control up until there. Alina Ring. Meanwhile, on the men's route, Maëlle. One of the bigger climbers on the tour. He's much taller and heavier than most of the climbers. So far coping well with this men's route. Climbing slightly slower than some of the athletes we've seen. And you can see the fatigue really beginning to kick in here.
He looks already a little bit pumped.
Does. He's reached a relatively comfortable position, but you can see he's getting pumped even on the so-called rest here. Just needs to figure out what to do with that left hand. It's almost tall enough to use what I thought was a knee bar.
He climbed the first part not really fluently, so now it seems that he already is a little bit out of power.
You can see in his movements just how tired he is.
But it's still a good fight. Yeah, now it's over.
Not giving up, it just goes to prove when you're climbing, you do one move, you might be able to do the next one and then the next one. Don't give up, kept fighting. Hannah Schubert's out on the women's route. From Innsbruck.
la voit aussi en bloc, Hannah, ils sont
One of many strong climbers from that part of the world.
deux disciplines, les Autrichiens, la vitesse, il commence à arriver aussi. Ça, c'est une petite demoiselle qui pourra briller.
I live in Innsbruck. It doesn't seem to have rubbed off on me, but we live in hope.
Elle est 97 et quand on voit son talent, elle non plus n'a pas encore fait de finale.
She's heading up through the black volumes. So above and left of this will be the volcano section.
Puis elle bénéficie évidemment de l'expérience du frangin, Jakob. Et tout ça avec un bon caractère autrichien. Ok, please welcome on the stage.
You might have just heard through our microphone someone right next to our commentary box very loudly cheering on Hannah Schubert. We encourage that. Climbed brilliantly in Chamonix, actually 9th place, missed the final by 1. We'll be hoping to go one better. Remember, we have 8 athletes who proceed to the final. Hannah Schubert, 9th last time in Chamonix. Masahiro Higuchi, you can see him top left of your screen. He begins the men's route. So we watch Hannah Schubert now. Will she figure out this sequence? She seems to have done so far. Remember, she needs to cross through with the right hand.
And she's clipping. It looks good.
Just a bit slow with the slack, the belay there, but she's got it now.
Nice.
So this
Tension and come on. Yes, perfect. Very nice. So she will reach now a new height.
she will be our new leader.
The first goal, which goes out of the crater section.
Just shaky out here, Hannah. Very composed, first climber to figure out that section at the end of the volcanoes and also simultaneously clip. Saw Anne-Sophie Koller climbing previously. She figured out the sequence, but failed to clip.
And she can rest there. That's quite good tactically.
So this next section above it, made up of the red and orange volumes. Just talk us through the moves here. How are these to read?
I would say she has now a good chance to go to the final in this route.
And what is the key to the moves above her now?
To be controlled but fast.
So this is the last good rest on the route.
Yeah, right.
So now she goes. Hannah Schubert. Again, clips early.
Nice.
This is what cost Anne-Sophie. This is by far the furthest any woman has got so far on their route. You can see the fatigue beginning to kick in, just gritty her teeth. And she emerges into the sun. Now, which hand does she need to lead with here?
Left hand up. Yes.
There we go.
Nice.
Again, clips early. You can see the fatigue beginning to kick in. But she's holding it together. This
Come
is great.
on. Oh, cool. A very good run for her.
Hannah Schubert looks fairly happy with that. I suspect that will be enough to make the final from what we've seen so far.
And also the Japanese look strong.
Yes. Masha. Yes, Masahiro Higuchi.
Vous avez les grimpeurs suisses qui sortent, vous pouvez leur faire des selfies avec.
Nice. He's doing good, and the first one who clipped the bolt.
Yes, so now he's got the move out left onto those volcanoes. There it is. As you say, very composed at this stage.
Vicky Van Bergen. Vicky Van Bergen, the only climber representing Netherlands on this competition. She wasn't in Chamonix next week. It's the first World Cup for her. Nikki. Good luck, Nikki. Come on, Gamma,
Here's Nikki Van Bergen on the women's route. You can just see her, top left of your screen. Climbing for the Netherlands. Not a country known for its rock climbing.
Yeah, very nice. Come on.
Here's Masahiro. No, just goes back.
I think you have to sort out how it will work.
So what is the correct sequence here? He's gone with the left hand.
Yeah, you stick in the foot into the second volcano, and then when you cross, you take out the foot and you grab with the hand. So in the same time.
It's a very dynamic move.
Yeah, it's a precise move. Very precise move.
So has he read it? Here he goes.
Yes, right. He's right. Yeah.
So he's got it right.
Perfect. Yes.
And he's read it perfectly. He needs to cross
Come
through.
on.
And then he. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Come on.
But that is the correct method.
It's not really the absolute crux, but it's really delicate to get into the volcano if you have the foot inside.
So, impressive effort from Masahiro. That's the furthest we've seen anyone get. He was 13th last time in Chamonix. As we focus on Nikki Van Bergen. Now, she's read the sequence correctly. Just needs a clip here. You can see her just beginning to shake with the effort and slips there. Still looks happy enough, Nikki Van Bergen. Just there she is, right on the edge of the stage here in Villars. Dinara Factor will be out next. As we just recap the men's results so far, you see there Ramonet, currently 11th out of the 11 climbers we've had so far. And in the women's competition, Hannah Schubert, 35 plus, leading the field by quite some margin. She currently leads the way, 35 plus. By far the furthest anyone has got up this women's route. And I believe we can speak to Hannah Schubert now.
Yes, you can.
Hannah, you looked very controlled there. How did the route feel?
It felt really hard right from the beginning, and it was also getting hot because the route was in the sun, also in the upper part. I felt the sun in my eyes, but it felt really good, and I kind of liked the style, but still it's really hard for us at the moment because there are always new holds, these cheetah holds. Nobody knows them, and also this volcanoes. Yeah, the volcanoes. In Chamonix we had them from the first time, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, I never had this hold before. How will they feel?" And yeah, now I'm a bit more used to them, I think. But they're really like, you can't. Everyone is so different, every hold, and also if it looks really good, it can be really, really bad. So it was hard to tell how they are, but I think I handled it quite well.
And what do you think the key is to this route for the climbers who are still to come?
I think just go for it. Don't stop too much and like think about it too much. Just go for it and climb as you planned it, like not thinking about too much, because if you rest at the position too long, I think you get really pumped. So just climb and as far as you can.
Just keep going.
Yeah, keep going. That's important also at these Vulcan things, because if you stay at them too long, they're getting really, really bad.
And you were 9th in Chamonix last time. You think you've done enough for the final this time?
I'm not sure. I think there's so many good athletes here, and I think also the move where I fell, maybe a key move again, like where a lot of people fell. I'm not sure, but I will see. I'm satisfied with my climbing, and I'm curious to see if it's enough or not. But
okay,
yeah,
well,
would be nice.
For now, you have a very big lead in the provisional standings, so I hope we see you in the final. Good luck, and thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
That was Hannah Schubert there. As you see, Yuki Hada slipping off the men's route. Very happy, Hannah Schubert. I would imagine she's done enough there, but as she rightly said, a lot of strong climbers still to come, including Dinara Factor-Dinova, who has slipped early on in this route. She does not look happy with that performance. That won't be enough. So for those of you who are just joining us, we're live from Villars in Switzerland. My co-commentator, Christian Bindhammer, IFSC route setter, and I can say it without embarrassing him, now he's not here, a legend of both competition and outdoor climbing in lead and bouldering, is my co-commentator. But in the meantime, he has some other work to do. He has to go and clean the routes. So he's left me on my own for a while, and he will be back very shortly. We've just spoken to Hannah Schubert. She currently holds a lead in the overall women's standings.
Donc là, on devrait normalement, alors pas vendre la peau de l'ours, hein, mais logiquement, ça devrait, chez les garçons, devrait en voir un petit peu plus avec le prochain. Hier, les conditions étaient un petit peu fraîches en début de matinée.
And next out on the women's route, we have Katharina Posch of Austria, Hannah Schubert's countrywoman. And Sebastian Halenka makes his way out onto the men's route. There's Sebastian. He's hard to miss, that's for sure. He was in the final 4 days ago in Chamonix. I saw him the next morning, and he's showing me an injury he had to his finger. I'm amazed he did as well as he did. He's got quite a serious cut on one of his index fingers. It seems slightly better when I spoke to him today, but yeah, he was carrying an injury. Didn't seem to hold him back too much in Chamonix. And Christian Bindhammer, you're back. It didn't seem you had to do any work. You can rejoin us.
Yeah, I will have to do the cleaning afterwards, but I want to watch Sebastian because, yeah, normally he's our star in Germany, and I hope that he will do good. That's right, that he have a cut at the finger at the moment, but I think he can ignore it.
I think it's, when he showed me yesterday, it's maybe slightly better than it was in Chamonix.
Yeah, the problem is that if you have this small holes, it will open again. So he glued it, but it's not, yeah. He cannot recover completely. The skin needs some time.
It's one of the big difficulties, having 2 World Cups in 4 days. If you are carrying a small injury, very, very difficult to do any meaningful healing. See Katharina Posch.
Yeah, now he did find the, oh no!
And Sebastian slips off.
That was strange.
Chalk bag goes flying.
I think the problem was for him that he hook over the hand and then, yeah, both slip away. on the big one.
So Sebastian Halenka, not at all happy. Katarina Posch, I'm also unlikely to have done enough there. So we briefly had Christian Bindhammer back there in the commentary box because he wanted to watch a fellow countryman, Sebastian Halenka. Unfortunately though, Sebastian, whether it was a finger injury or whether it was just a slip, I'm not sure. Either way, he's just walking off the stage furious as we recap the men's results. We see him there, 13th from 13 so far. In the women's competition, Hannah Schubert, we just spoke to her via our live video link. Currently leads away by a large margin. She's the only female climber who's been anywhere near that top section of the wall here in Villars. As we can see, there's the kind of views that we've been enjoying the last couple of days in Villars. When we first arrived here, the morning after the Chamonix final, it was hard to believe that those mountains were out there. They are, and they're stunning. We're now bathed in hot sunshine. And right now, midway through this semi-final, the route setters head up the wall, just give the routes a bit of a clean. Conditions very good for climbing here. The sun's out, as we can see there. Crowd in Villars thin at the moment, but every time we have a look, more and more people, and I suspect we're going to get a very good attendance for tonight's final. The obvious problem with having climbing competitions in towns in the Alps is that when the weather's good, everybody's out climbing during the day, particularly on a Saturday, but this evening, as I say, we're hoping for a large crowd. The village is fully embraced so far, home to 1,200 people. Very famous for its two huge private schools here, both of which are absolutely spectacular. The rumour, which I probably shouldn't pass on, but well, never mind, is that the Kim Jong-un, leader of North Korea, was educated in Villars. That's what we're told. Whether it's true, I don't know, but it sounds like a bit of fun, so I'm going to spread the rumour. As the old saying goes, if you haven't heard a good rumour by midday, make one up. There we have the classic views of Villars. It's a shame I don't have a local alongside me who could name those peaks. As I say, we haven't seen them until yesterday. Normally when I arrive in a town like this, I like to figure out what the peaks are called, but this is the first day we've had a really good view of them. Caught a glimpse of them yesterday. Today we have perfect weather. And if you're wondering, if you're just tuning in, why we have someone being allowed to use the top rope and pull on the quick draws, it's because our route setting team are just giving the routes a clean midway through this semi-final. And as they do that, I'll just run you through who is still to climb. We've just seen Sebastian Halenka in the men's competition and Katarina Posch in the women's. Remember, we have 28 women in today's semi-final versus 26 men. So still to climb in the men's competition. The next climb we'll see will be Thomas Johannes. Kokura Fuji, current leader in the overall standings in the Boulder World Cups. He'll be out after that, followed by Jiwan Park of Korea. Han-Woo Kim, also of Korea, will follow. Sean McColl of Canada. We've lost track of how many World Cups he's done even this season, let alone his career. Vastly experienced Canadian. He'll be out after them, followed by Minoru Nakano. Naoki Shimatani will follow, followed by Kichiro Karanaga, Jakob Schubert, Sean Bailey, Stefano Gisolfi, Gutierrez Upper, and last week's winner in Chamonix, And highest qualifier this time round, Domen Skofic will be out last. In the women's competition, we still have 14 competitors to go. Yuka Kobayashi will be out once the route's been cleaned. Mathilde Becerra will be out after that, followed by Charlotte Jarif, Christine Schranz, Jessie Pilz, Magdalena Rock, 3 Austrians in a row there. Ellen Jenico will be followed by Salome Roman, Risa Ota, Mina Markovic, Julia Shanodi, and then Jane Kim, Annek Verhoeven and Janja Garnbret will be the last 3 climbers we see in the women's competition. As we see some views of Villars, hard to believe it's the middle of July, look at that. And just a quick recap of the results. Hannah Schubert leads the way. She's on 35 plus ahead of Anne-Sophie Collet. Should be a popular second place if it stays that way. I doubt it will, but you never know. Climbing in her hometown, Nikki van Bergen of Netherlands, currently in 3rd. See down there Catherine Schung and Evelyn Fuchs, the other 2 Swiss climbers that we've seen so far today. Excuse me, in the women's competition, also seen Alina Ring and Anne-Sophie Collet, who were mentioned earlier. So Masahiro Higuchi leads away, possible surprise leader at this stage. We've already had some strong climbers out, including Urban Primozic, who sits in 2nd, Loic Timmermans, Sasha Lehmann, and how's that for a leaderboard thus far? Ramonet down in 12th, Sebastian Helenka in 13th. As I was saying, hard to believe it's the middle of July. The rain in Villars was absolutely torrential, and the rain-snow line, the altitude at which rain becomes snow, was very low, I believe around 2,000 meters. And I have to say, it looks like ski season across the valley, as you can see there. There we go. And skiers amongst you, no doubt getting very excited at that sight. See the route setting team there, just cleaning the routes. They do this at the midway point of the semi-final, because obviously the holes get increasingly dirty, covered in sweat. Not quite so much of an issue as it can be here in Villars, because the bulk of the routes are in the shade. For the sake of our pictures, I was hoping that the wall would get hit by the sun. We've barely seen it up until today, so I wasn't really familiar with whether the wall would become more sunny or less, but fortunately for the pictures, I think it's going to become less sunny as the day progresses. The competitors will be pleased with that, though. Don't forget, if you want to interact with us today in Villars, you can hashtag IFSCWC on Twitter. Let us know what you think. We've got a full program of events here. If you manage to make it here in person, if you live within an hour or 2 of Villars, I suggest coming down. We've got the kids climbing wall, as you can see there. Plenty of good hearty mountain food. Not to mention, apparently, I hear a rumour there might also be some good Swiss blonde beer on tap. As I say, just heard that from a little bird. The route setting team are back on the ground. The routes have been cleaned, and I think we're just minutes away from the resumption of this semi-final here in Villars. There we go, another look at these stunning Villars mountains of views. They're some of the best I've seen in the Alps, actually. And as I say, Villars home to 2 huge private schools. Not a bad place to go to school, not a bad view from your boarding house window. There is the wall, now clear of route setters. And ready for our next competitors. Thomas Johan of France will be out next on the men's wall. And Yuka Kobayashi on the women's.
Et Yuka a 98% de statistiques en finale. En demi-finale, pardon, Yuka Kobayashi, toujours présente dans ce niveau de la compétition. C'est après que ça devient un petit peu plus dur pour elle. C'est beau ça.
Yuka Kobayashi, remember, she was 5th in Chamonix. We'll be hoping for another appearance in tonight's final. And the climbers are out. There's Yuka, and in the foreground, Thomas. Thomas 14th in Chamonix, climbs 14th in today's semi-final. And I'm very pleased to report that Christian Bindhammer, my co-commentator and IFSC route setter, is back alongside me. Christian, you've just helped with the route cleaning. Were the routes, did the routes need a clean, or were conditions quite good and actually they were fine?
Yeah, normally it's to have a fair competition, it's necessary to clean in the middle of the semi-final. Yeah. This is a normal way we do, and I think it's a bit better for the next climbers, because if 26 go over the first holes, they get more slippery. So it's good like it is.
Even with the good conditions, you still think that the routes had got worse over the 13 climbers?
Yeah, I would say if you clean it, it's for all climbers quite the same. It's not like it's skiing where the last driver of the track have less good conditions.
Conditions are very good here in Villars. It's beginning to get warmer, but still cool. Most people here wearing a hoodie or a top of some description. It's not t-shirt weather just yet. And most of the wall is in the shade, so conditions are excellent. As Thomas Johan on the men's route, climbing quickly. Yuka Kobayashi looking to back up her appearance in last week's final in Chamonix with another one here. Also looking in control. Some strapping on that right shoulder, but she had that in Chamonix. Didn't affect her performance at all.
Cette transition-là et cette diagonale, elle est loin d'être facile avec le changement de main. Toujours délicat à réaliser. Petit temps de repos pour Thomas Jeunesse et ensuite il va enchaîner puissamment dans cette partie du toit. Et regardez la fin aussi.
So Yuka just composing herself before the volcano section. Lots of comments on social media about how tricky this section looks. The key at the end is reading it well. Hannah Schubert read it perfectly, and it's given her a big lead, but yes, very tricky section. But if you get the beta right, it certainly makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, and also Thomas is reaching the critical section.
You see him just beginning to shake with the effort of staying on this wall.
Whoa!
He needs to clip, but he's got the beta right.
Yes, perfect.
It's the furthest we've seen any man yet.
But he missed the clip, yeah. He can do the clip.
Very
nice.
Awkward clip, but he makes it work. Looked like he might struggle with that, so Thomas Johanna, he will take an early lead in this men's competition. Can't get any further.
Nice climb.
Yeah, he doesn't look very happy with that, but I think that will be enough for the lead for sure.
Yeah, probably he knows that probably it will be not enough for the final. So yeah, it's always a game. You want to reach the final, and it's just the best 8, and there are some good climbers still to climb the route, you know.
As we see here, Yuka Kobayashi. This is Hannah Schubert did progress further than this. She made her way onto the top section of the wall, but this from Yuka Kobayashi will already be enough to put her in provisional 2nd, even if she stops now. Let's say 5th last time in Chamonix. And so far looking complete control. You can see on her face, no real sign of effort showing just yet. Now you would imagine, is that the correct hand to go with?
Not completely, but the girls are very strong to change holds, so probably yeah.
So
it could also work like this.
Hannah Schubert got this far and slightly further, but I have to say Yuka Kobayashi looks very much in control here. Christian Binthammer's alongside me, IFSC route setter, was involved in setting these routes.
Yeah, I guess she will be the one now reaching the first the flat section at the top of the wall.
The wall is under 100% Japanese, Garnbret.
Come on, Yuka.
Alors attention, parce que là il reste un petit peu de temps normal, hein, qui était important. Et c'est maintenant de la zone, vous, s'il vous plaît. Allez.
As we watch Yuka, she's pulling over the roof onto the upper section of this wall. Now this is where Hannah Schubert came off. Yuka sticks it. And Yuka will take the lead. Hannah Schubert into 2nd. Yuka Kobayashi, by far the strongest performance we've seen yet.
Good try, and maybe final for her. We will see.
In the meantime, I believe we can speak via video link to Thomas Johans, who currently leads the way in the men's standings. Thomas, can you hear me?
I'm a bit bummed. I was really good in this route, but I think that I don't find the best beta at the end.
It looked as if you went a bit too far and then you had to clip. It was a bit difficult to clip. Just tell us about that.
Yeah, I sent my foot above my head, and it was really difficult to clip. I think it's better if you do all the section without the foot.
And you think the upper section of the route somebody will do it? You were very close. You said you just needed a different beta.
What's your question? Can you repeat?
Yes, sure. Do you think somebody will be able to do the top section of the route? You were very close.
Yeah, I think after the roof, it's maybe more easy because the betas are more simple. But I think that all the athletes who come can do a good effort.
Well, you are provisionally in the lead, so congratulations, and I hope it's enough for the final.
Thank you very well. I hope.
Thank you for talking to us. Bye-bye.
See you.
That was our provisional leader, Thomas Johans. And here is Kokoro Fuji, current leader in the overall standings in the Boulder World Cups. And he clips very early. That was the clip that we just mentioned with Thomas that was causing problems.
Till far he looked really controlled, really good. And now we will see if he find out the move. No.
No, unfortunately not. Kokoro still smiling. Always seems to be smiling. Now here's Mathilde Besserin of France, flying up this lower section.
coutume. Et attention à la petite Suissesse sur scène sous l'écran. Dans 3 grimpeurs va arriver Sean McColl. Oh.
And the venue MC just commenting that Mathilde is the girlfriend of Sean McColl, who we will see very shortly in the men's competition. 4 climbers, sorry, until we see Sean. Here goes Mathilde into this tricky volcano section.
Yeah, she had some luck that she will not fall. She was near to fall in the lower part when the foot slipped away. So I hope she's not a little bit more nervous now.
Here she goes, needs to remember to clip. It's already caused problems and it's already at her feet. The clip. Clips behind her leg, not ideal, but she makes it work this time. Again, doesn't want to get too far away from that clip, just to the right of her right hand. It's what cost Anne-Sophie Collet earlier in this semi-final. I think it has cost her.
And again, the foot slip away.
She knows what she did there. She climbed past the clip. It's exactly what Anne-Sophie Collet did, and it costs both of them.
Yeah, probably she's a little bit thinking about why my foot slipped 2 times in this route.
Juan Park of Korea is out on the men's route. We saw Kokora Fuji just a second ago. Juan Park now out. Next out on the women's, we will have Charlotte Jurif. Beautiful qualification yesterday. Et allez, on encourage aussi le coréen, c'est Asia, Jiwan Park, Corey. Et ensuite on va rentrer dans le classement mondial. Et là ça va faire très mal dans cette voie. No trouble so far. Now we just have a ladder going up on the women's route.
Yeah, it was just one carabiner turning around. So we fixed it now and that's good.
Yes, we just had a carabiner that had twisted in one of the quick draws on the women's route. One of our excellent route setting team just put it back in place and applying some gaffer tape to secure it. As we watch Juan just struggle with that move right, but he's just beginning to set himself again. He's got his leg caught behind the rope. That won't help. 15th last time out in Chamonix.
Yeah, he didn't get good into the sequence, but now he's right again.
He has re-established himself. He's heading up towards that large purple hole on the right where a lot of the climbers have been doing a drop knee. And you can see her there on the screen. Christine Schranz of Austria. This is Austria time. See there? Tommy Johanna, we spoke to him just a second ago, 29 plus, leads away in the men's competition. Kokora Fuji, overall Boulder World Cup leader, doing enough for provisional 3rd, but some big names down the list. Wait for this. Loic Timmermans, Ramone and Sebastian Halenka right down there. And in the women's, Yuka Kobayashi leads away ahead of Hannah Schubert. We spoke to Hannah just a few minutes ago. Mathilde Becerra, she slipped off, but done enough for 3rd. Chez les filles, il va y avoir tout à l'heure la grimpeuse qui me tombe Janja Garnbret, Anna Verhoeven and Jane Kim still to come, amongst others. Christine Strantz currently on the wall.
La beauté parfaite de la grimpe sur un mur, Julia Chagourdi, notre française, qui a fait une qualification.
Christine making her way towards the volumes. After that, she moves out left onto the volcano section. Plenty of comments on social media about that section. But if you read it correctly, it's certainly more than possible for the athletes here. We saw a lot of climbers early on struggle to read it. The ones that have found the beta have not quite cruised through it, but not too far off.
Allez, Korea with on-wool team. And Austria, stop sleeping, please. Come on, guys, make some noise. Hey, Christine Schwartz. And this is the Austrian time. 3 climbers from Austria. Stop to sleep on the bed. I know that you like Switzerland, but allez. Anna, make some noise, Anna. I want to hear your voice, Anna. Go. For Christine, go.
Christine Strantz safely through the volcano section, read it correctly.
She did it really easy. Really nice climb.
If you're wondering why we didn't see Charlotte Jurif as planned, she was carrying a small injury yesterday. We weren't sure how it would affect her. She didn't take part in the speed climbing competition. She's not taking part today. We believe it's a rib injury of some description. It's a shame because Charlotte was 8th in Chamonix, made the final, climbing well right now. But she won't be appearing today, which is why we're seeing Christine Strantz, and this women's semi-final is reduced to 27 climbers. Christine just needs a clip here. Just awkward. Would like to have got that done earlier, but she's already, this is enough for provisional 3rd.
Yeah, that looks good.
So talk us through this next sequence. What are the moves that from here she needs to come through with the left hand?
There are a lot of slopey stuff holds, you know. So you have to find the balance out there. It's not so steep, this part of the wall. So yeah, you have to avoid that you turn too much in the moves, and it's more about the body positions, to find the right positions.
So as I say, Christine here. As we see Hannah Kim slip off. Christine, this is already enough for provisional 3rd. She's only the 3rd female athlete to get this far.
She's a little bit struggling on the rest point, on her personal rest point. Yeah, now she got it.
Now she sets herself, goes to the right hand.
And goes to the 2nd place now.
That will be enough for 2nd place. Hannah Schubert touched that hold but wasn't able to hang on to it. Could get even better.
Yes. If she get the next one, she's on 1st ranked. Yes, now.
No problem, she takes a provisional lead.
Yes, that's a provisional lead, yes.
Feet just slipped there.
But it was a great climb, a good fight.
This season, Christine, better than
Yes, Christine, a provisional lead, we think that, almost certainly.
Congrats, Christine.
And she is the first of 3 Austrian climbers in a row on the women's event. Jessie Piltz will be out next, followed by Magdalena Rock.
Champion du monde du combiné, Canada.
It's Sean McColl.
Monsieur McColl.
One of the few climbers who competes in every World Cup in every discipline.
Yeah, right, he's really strong also in bouldering, and I think if he can go to the volcano section, he will be the one which can do these moves very well. He have the technical style for bouldering, and it's a bit climbing without too much footholds, so could suit him.
It'll be interesting to see. As ever, Sean's hands absolutely plastered. Uses liquid chalk by the gallon. Conditions just getting slightly warmer here in Villars, but as I say, it's still close to t-shirt weather. It's not, I wouldn't say it was hot just yet. It's particularly in the shade, very good climbing temperature. Sean making pretty light work of things so far. Just struggling a bit with that clip. Back on track now. Setting a very fast pace. We saw it last week in Chamonix.
Bon, et je veux comme la charmante demoiselle là-bas entendre. Allez, Sean. Ah oui. Surtout les filles, hein. Les gars, on sait que vous êtes jaloux. Regarde, les juges suisses, là, elles sont captives. Ah bah là, on va pas aller regarder la météo et la faune et la fleur de Villars-sur-Blanc. Hein. Regarde là l'autre sur scène là. Elle l'a pas sorti une seule fois, son appareil photo encore.
Yeah, he lost not too much power on this part, so I think he will reach the key section quite well.
Yeah, Sean is, as so often, climbing very quickly. A man in a rush.
Perfect method.
Taken part in over 100 World Cups, Sean. Experience showing here, he's reading this route perfectly.
Yeah, and this is what I mean. That as a boulderer, he can do these moves quite well, I guess. Yes, come on, yes. This was the right sequence.
It's Sean McColl, I think, showing it how it's done on this men's route. Ever the showman. And he gave the crowd a treat there. Fantastic stuff from Sean McColl. Both feet off, facing out from the wall.
So he climbed the 360 like it was planned from our side.
So Christian Bindhammer alongside me, IFSC route setter. That's how it was supposed to be done. Sean,
come on.
Absolutely flying up here.
Wow.
Well, that's more than enough for an early lead for Sean, and that's what it means to him.
I would think this could be the final, so yeah. It was a good performance from him.
Voilà pourquoi les femmes s'évanouissent à chaque fois aussi. Bon, après, tu confirmes, hein, la vitesse, la diff, ça fait mal. Hein. La semaine prochaine, ça va être plus cool. Hein. Il n'y aura que la diff. Donc voilà, en tout cas, pour les prochains championnats du monde à venir à Paris, lui, pour aller le chercher au combiné.
I believe we can speak via video link to Christine Schranz. Christine, that was a fantastic effort. How did you feel on the wall?
I felt quite good, yeah. It was the first time in Chamonix I never come into my fight, and this time I was fighting, and that feels great.
And when you slipped off, what was the problem? Were you just tired? It looked like your foot slipped.
Yeah, I was tired, but I think I can do a plus, or I maybe the next hold I think I can do that, but my foot slipped. Yeah, that was a bit. Yeah.
And we already spoke to Hannah. It's a very good day for the Austrian women. Do you think you've done enough for the final?
I don't know. I think there are 11 girls inside or 10 girls now inside. They are all pretty strong. I don't know at the moment where I stay. I don't talk to anybody, and I don't know, but I hope.
Well, you have the provisional lead, and I hope it's enough for the final. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the Austrians are really strong. Already at the last part of the route.
Jessie, elle n'a pas été tellement chanceuse à Chamonix la semaine dernière. Elle a un petit peu souffert de ce mur Worldtopia violent. Là, elle se retrouve sur le mur d'entreprise. Là, elle est revenue légèrement en arrière pour se relâcher un petit peu. Parce qu'elle sait très bien que quand elle va attaquer, il va falloir qu'elle y aille d'un coup.
So, Noru Nakano, one of a very strong Japanese team in both boulder and lead this year. He's on the wall. Meanwhile, Jessie Pilz could be about to take her compatriot's place.
Nice. Now she will get the lead here in this competition. Yes.
Well, Team Austria, Jessie Pilz is now the third female Austrian to hold the provisional lead. Could we see a top?
Là, c'est bon? C'est bon, can you hear me? Testing. Ça marche? D'accord. Pas de souci.
Jessie Pilz. We could be about to see our first top here. I don't want to curse her. She's certainly in a provisional lead.
Ooh, really
no,
close.
No top.
Really close.
And via video link, we can now speak to, and no doubt very happy, Sean McColl.
Oh,
Sean, are you there?
I'm here. Hopefully on camera. I don't know if the camera's working. Yeah.
Yes, you are. We can see you. That was fantastic to watch, the reverse move at the top of the wall. Just talk us through that.
Well, it was funny actually. When we were previewing, we knew right away that the route was super bouldery. So we're looking for all these moves. There's lots of volumes. There's lots of little things you can do with your feet, your thumbs, lots of switching. And then I even told them in the preview, we all thought you just do a normal cross through. And then I was like, well, it might be a 360. Like if it's in bouldering, for sure it's that. And then they're like, no, it's not going to be that. I got there. I had my foot in there. I was like, oh no, this is the way to do it. I obviously executed it. It was the moves just prior are actually harder than those moves. And then at the top, I couldn't feel my fingers. They went numb. So it was hard, but I got through it, and I think I'm leader right now, so hopefully I'm in finals.
Yeah, well, I've got Christian Binhammer alongside me, and as soon as you did it, he said, that's how you do it.
Exactly. And I see those things, and sometimes I see too much. Sometimes I think, oh, maybe it's this, and then no, just do a normal sequence. But I saw that, and it's a really, really well opened by the route setters. You get the clip first, then it's really comfortable. You don't have to deal with the rope. So overall, I was really happy with it.
So you've gone by far the furthest of anyone so far in that men's competition. You've had you've had a look at the top wall. Can you give us any beta on that from what you saw?
Make sure your fingers are not frozen to the top. Like I couldn't feel them. I was trying to rest, and the holds are good. If you can rest, we can see someone get to the top of the route. But I'm hoping that everyone that gets to that last head wall will make finals, and then we'll see what the final will give us.
And what was the? You said your fingers were numb. Is the temperature that low on the wall?
It's a combination of I like having my fingers quite cold before I start the route. I'm sitting in the shade behind in isolation. I put on liquid chalk, it also cools it down. So I just got numb fingers just at the end. So even having to choose between doing that again or having warm hands, I would still choose the former and get numb fingers at the top. So, it's a risk I take. There, they didn't get numb to the top, but, I still have high point.
Well, I suspect you've done enough to get in the final. We certainly hope so, and thanks for talking to us. Well done.
Thanks. See you guys.
There's a understandably delighted Sean McColl.
Okay, we still have two climbers from Japan. And welcome Mr. Naoki Shimatani, Japan. Young climber
So
from Japan, he has 20 years old.
third Austrian climber in a row is out on the women's route. Magdalena Rock.
So now the Austrians get better and better, so probably we'll see now the top.
No pressure, Magdalena, but pretty much every Austrian's been in the lead in the women's competition so far.
Bon, elle aussi, on voit qu'elle n'est pas complètement rentrée dans le rythme. Magda, elle ne prend pas de risque, elle compose. Alors, elle compense, elle aussi, avec une belle résistance, une bonne puissance physique, mais il va peut-être falloir qu'elle accélère un petit peu sa grimpe, sinon elle risque d'être à cran physiquement avant le sommet. En tout cas, pour le moment, c'est les Autrichiens qui ont pris le
So
temps de
Naoki
position.
Shimatani is out on the men's route, bib number 113. You can see him top left of your screen. While meanwhile Magdalena Rock makes her way through the volcanoes, excuse me, on the women's route. And as I say, I'm just going to quickly look at my list of female climbers so far. Hannah Schubert. Yeah, if Magdalena can take the provisional lead, she'll be the fourth Austrian woman to do so in today's semi-final. Extraordinary performance from the Austrian women. Seemingly okay so far. Interesting insight just there from Sean McColl, telling us about the temperature on the wall. I can tell you it is getting warmer and warmer here in Villars. It's becoming t-shirt weather.
But still in the shade, it's good conditions for the climbers, so they have nice conditions.
And we're just going to have a quick recap. We see there, bottom left of your screen, Sean McColl currently leading the way in the men's standings, 34 plus. No one else really been anywhere near that top section of the wall. He was delighted. I suspect Sean McColl thinks he's done enough, and I have to say I agree with him. Big surprises down there though. Ramonet and Sebastian Halenka, they will not be taking part in this evening's final. Sebastian Halenka carrying a small finger injury, but I don't think it was enough to stop him. He was not happy with how he climbed.
So far Magdalena climbed really good, continuously up.
Yeah, she hasn't stopped much.
It just looked like she climbed not so fast, but always in the same speed.
Yeah, she just keeps on going at the steady speed, and it's working for her.
Yes.
Just considers clipping, but decides against it. As you see on the bottom left of your screen, a quick recap of the women's scores. We'll focus for now on Magdalena.
Yeah, like I told you, it's a more balancing moves up there, so if you find the right positions with the heels, then it's not so powerful there.
Magdalena looked like she just began to run out of energy there.
So second place at the moment for her.
And will be second place, yes. As Naoki Shimatani slips off, and that means that we have 6 climbers still to go, so Sean McColl can't finish any lower than 7th, so his superb effort on the men's route will be enough to see him through. Quick recap of the results there. Sean McColl, as I say, tops the standings, and with 6 climbers still to go, he will certainly make the top 8, and that means he will be in tonight's finals, followed by Thomas Ioannis. But as I say, the big news here in Villars in the men's semi-final is down towards the bottom, where Ramonet and Sebastian Halenka, finalists last week in Chamonix, find themselves. The women's competition, it's all Austria so far. Jessie Pilz, Magdalena Rock, Katarina Posch, one of the few Austrians who's not held a provisional lead, down in 13th as things stand. So, Helen Janiko is out, there she is, wearing bib number 5 onto this women's route. I can tell you, Kachiro Kawanaga, have we seen him? No, he's just off to the left as we look at it there. He's out. He's just got his 40 seconds before he climbs just to look at the route. Final inspection. And he's now walking up to the route. There he is, top left of your screen. And on this lower section, Ellen Yannico.
Alors vous avez vu, hein, des petites erreurs, tout est possible. Donc si vous aimez des grimpeurs, des grimpeuses, quelle que soit la nationalité, si vous êtes tombé fan, s'ils font partie de vos grimpeurs incroyables que vous suivez sur Internet, encouragez-les.
No problems so far into the lower volume section.
On avait vu à Chamonix en Coupe du Monde il y a 2 ans, Adam Ondra, et Adam Ondra, hein,
14th in Chamonix. I would imagine she'll be hoping for better here.
Trop à l'aise, ici le piégé, il a fait 4 moves, il est redescendu.
She makes her way without any break into the volcano section. Remember, she is a previous World Cup winner, Ellen Yannico. 2012, she won in Briançon, where we are going after this. So she will be hoping for a final here. Pretty consistently making finals last year. She only missed out on Briançon, the scene of her win in 2012. Made every other final last year in the Lead World Cups. No joy in Chamonix though. How will she get on today? 14th, 4 days ago in Chamonix. Meanwhile, top left, Kojiro Koranaga. There he is. Both climbers about 2 meters apart at exactly the same height on the wall. And Ellen barely paused for breath. There's a good rest, slightly lower down on that black volume below and right of her left foot.
And also on the men's route now, the key section starts. Oh, without foot. Really strong.
Yes, no problem for Kojiro. Well, Sean McColl already guaranteed his place in this evening's final, but he's by no means guaranteed the provisional lead. Kojiro make his way onto the top section of the route. Only the second climber we've seen do it. As Ellen Yannico slips off, absolutely kicking herself here, and it means we can now focus on Kojiro. This will be enough for a lead. Foot just slips, but he stays on.
Incredible strong.
Incredible strength from Kojiro. I have to say, I thought we were about to see our first top there.
Great performance, and yeah, really nice. He moved the key section with the volcanoes without feet, very fast. Yeah.
So he'll be in tonight's final. Kojiro, no wonder he looked so happy. He's actually got his back to the camera, but I tell you, he's got a big grin on his face. Very happy man. So Ellen Yannico not happy with her performance. Pearl, I would imagine, not quite done enough to make the final this evening. We shall see. A man who has, though, is Kojiro Koranaga. And we have a second French climber in a row. Salome Roman is out. It's the women's competition. There she is, just rehearsing the moves. Next up in the men's competition, we have one of the real powerhouses of the sport. Just making his way onto the stage now, Yuka Schubert. Already seen an excellent performance from his sister. Final last time in Chamonix. Multiple World Cup wins to his name. Always a threat. It's just, you can see him there, top left. Just making the most of his 40 seconds inspection time.
14 victoires en Coupe du Monde, champion du monde à Paris 2012, premier du classement général de la Coupe du Monde en 2011.
Jakob,
deuxième en
one of the
2013,
latest in a string of incredibly strong climbers from Innsbruck.
Ça fait déjà très longtemps qu'il est au plus haut niveau mondial, il résiste toujours. Il nous a fait une superbe troisième place à Chamonix en début de saison. C'est la machine autrichienne par excellence.
He was third in Chamonix 4 days ago. As I say, with his record though, only a win is really good enough for him. That's what he expects when he comes into every competition. Looked in good form, not at the absolute best we've seen him, but you would imagine he should have enough to make tonight's final. It would be a surprise if he didn't.
Alors Jakob avec Domen Skofic, avec Gauthier, super. Tous ces gars-là, évidemment, à Bercy, ça va faire mal en plus si on compte sur le retour de la dame.
So Salome Roman, she was 24th the last time in Chamonix. I suspect she's already done enough to beat that here in Villars.
Allez, on va l'aider à cocotte aussi, hein. Vous avez vu les passages difficiles de la voie. Austria go with Jakob, we want Jakob in final, third place 3 days ago in Chamonix.
Salome, she's got the beater right on these volcanoes. And clips well as well. We have seen a couple of climbers, and Sophie Colette, Mathilde Besega climb past that point and then struggle to clip. No such problem for Salome. Salome not choosing to take the rest where she just had her left hand.
Right. I hope this will not cost her the final, because now she gets more pumped. That was a hard move for her.
Yeah, as I say, didn't take a rest. Jakob Schubert, meanwhile, making steady progress up the men's route. Certainly not climbing at the speed we saw from Sean McColl. Salome suddenly looking much more controlled.
So also Jakob reaching the critical section.
Shake out a lot here, Jakob.
Et là, évidemment, dans la méthode du passage à venir, il va falloir qu'il la trouve du premier coup.
Trying to use that drop knee as a knee bar.
Yeah, it helps not a lot.
Not particularly happy here, Jakob. That's not really a rest place he's at, but he's stopping.
He's used to concentrate before a hard section. He likes to do that.
Salome may well be climbing herself into the final here. She hasn't really stopped since she left the ground. Barely rested, barely paused.
Great performance, and also Jakob fighting hard.
And Salome sticks that move left. No, spectacular fall from here.
So far.
I think
it could be the lead, because it will be the same height.
Will be interesting when the scores come through.
Yes.
That is enough for the lead.
And Jakob is doing good.
Jakob not doing the moves left quite the same as we saw from Sean McColl, and not making them stick either, and you wonder if that'll be enough.
Yeah, the problem was that he had it with two hands, and then you cannot control the move to the next one.
So Christian Bindhammer, IFSC route setters alongside me. That hold you're talking about that Jakob had both hands in, that You're saying there just isn't room for both hands to be good in there.
And then you have it just not so good with the right hand, not so good with the left hand, and then it's over for you.
As we saw there from Jakob, I don't think that will be enough for the final.
I'm not sure. I think it could be okay. Yes.
We shall see. When we have 4 climbers still to go, it will depend exactly what score Jakob got. When we get the updated scores, we'll let you know.
Alors le calibre du niveau des filles comme Rizaota, c'est presque du 90% de demi-finale dès leur arrivée sur le circuit mondial. Ils étaient calés, on accueille une américaine, ça sera le seul américain de cette demi. Sean jeune talent de 20 ans, Sean qui nous rejoint.
About to climb on the men's route, Sean Bailey. Qualified in 4th here. He was 12th in Chamonix. That was his first ever Senior World Cup, so 12th. He'll be looking to better that. Not a bad start to a World Cup career, 12th position and then qualifies 4th in the qualifying round here in Villars.
Et justement, ça vous donnera un peu conscience de la difficulté. Donc on ouvrira la voie au public at 2:30 this afternoon if you want to try some run on the speed climbing route. We will open the route just for the crowd, so come to have fun. Allez, là c'est come on et Gamba. Non.
And the women's competition, you see her there, Risa Ota. 23-year-old Japanese climber, as I've said, one of many strong Japanese climbers in this year's lead and boulder competition. Sean Bailey, meanwhile, top left of your screen. Just gave himself a bit of an awkward clip there.
It's great to see some new faces on the climbing scene from America. So he did a really good performance at the qualification. So you have a good chance to reach there the finals.
Yes, qualify. And we will resume in just a second. I believe we can speak to Salome, who's just climbed. Salome, can you hear me? Salome.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
J'entends pas.
Salome? Salome, hello.
Yes, hello.
you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, okay, it's okay.
Okay. How was the route then? You were very close to the top.
Yes, I was very good, and I think it's my style of route. So the top is 3 movements of the top.
And you think that is enough for the final? Do you think you will be here tonight?
Sorry, can you repeat?
You think that is enough for the final?
J'entends pas.
Okay, we're just having some technical issues with Salome. We will come back to her later.
J'entends pas du tout.
Sorry about that, a few technical issues. Our video link has worked superbly up until now. As we resume with Risa Ota. In the meantime, I was busy chatting.
Yeah, Shaw did quite well, but probably it will be not enough for the final because he can't hold the second ring, which could be enough for the final.
When you say the ring, the purple volcano.
Yeah, the second purple volcano. If you hold this one, you have good chances to be in the final, in my opinion, at the moment.
So here's Risa Ota of Japan climbing. Didn't have the best start to the season, 25th in Chamonix. She will do better than that. Doesn't look very happy, but that will certainly be enough for better than 25th. Meanwhile, Stefano Gisolfi pulls on to the men's route. There he is. You see him on your screen. Just being spotted by the B layer for the first few moves. Second clip's in place.
55 finales, 39 podiums, à peu près 16 victoires, deuxième des championnats du monde de Villars. Elle était numéro 1 mondiale en 2011, 2012.
Very dynamic climbing low down here from Stefano, 12th in Chamonix a few days ago. Sorry, second in Chamonix. I misread my notes. We've got very bright sunlight here in the commentary booth. I can barely see my notes. There was no one in front of it, it was a second. As soon as I read it, I thought, I'm sure he was on the podium. He was on the podium, he took second. Apologies, Stefano.
It can be a strong season for him. He already were last season quite often in the finals. So it seems that he gets better during the season. And
he made roughly half the finals last year. And as I say, this year he started the season well with the silver medal in Chamonix. Meanwhile, on the women's wall, there she is, Mina Markovic, reigning lead World Cup champion. Didn't quite look herself in Chamonix. She made it into the final on an appeal. Qualified for the final in 8th place. Much stronger here in Villars. She qualified 5th today. So we focus on Stefano. So he's now coming to towards the end of this black volume section, at which point he'll move out left. If you've been watching us all the way through, you'll have seen some spectacular moves heading out left from Sean McColl. If Stefano can get onto that section, probably to the second hold, and establish himself there, that will possibly be enough for the final, we think. We haven't had any live scores for a while, but I suspect you see them there, those two purple volcanoes. If he can get himself to the second one of them, that could well be enough for the final.
Ooh, that was a little bit surprise for me, because he looked quite good, and then it was not necessary to jump to the ring. I think he was really pumped, maybe with the right hand, and
straight.
Probably not the final.
No, as I say, he made half the finals last year. So it looks as if he's going to continue that record into the early part of 2016. Made the first final in Chamonix and took silver. Very unlikely to make the final here in Villars. Meanwhile, Mina Markovic, reigning champion, looking to make it 2 finals, 2 events. She has the Peter correct. And she's clipped, importantly.
Actually now not the complete right better, because she needs the left one with right normally.
Yes.
But she can do also a far move instead. Yeah, she she's doing the far move and slip.
Well, as we saw in Chamonix from Mina, she's making life hard for herself. Yeah, we saw this in a couple of times. Chamonix, as we watch a replay of Salome climbing earlier, that was a full commitment to that move and quite a big fall result. There's Mina Markovic. Yeah, we saw it in Chamonix last week. Not climbing it very efficiently, but not reading the route very well. And she snuck into the final in Chamonix. I'm almost certainly won't hear as we recap the men's results. So Kachira Coronaga currently leads Sean McColl, Jakob Schubert, Toma Ioannis and Masahiro Higuchi. Loic Timmermans, Sasha Lehmann, right down there, not been their day today. I can tell you that Ramonet and Sebastian Helenka also already out. In the women's, Salome Roman, we spoke to her briefly, leads the way. Mina Markovic down in 11th, reigning champion, hasn't found her form this year. As Guti is up at the second to last climber in the men's competition, comes out.
Yeah, the best two.
Yes, Gauthier and Domen Skofic. In the women's competition, provisionally we had 28 athletes in this semi-final. Charlotte Jurif did not take part due to injury. So we've had 27, but the women slightly behind. We've still got 3 climbers to come after Julia Chanaudy, who we're currently watching. Whereas in the men's competition, we only have 1 to come. So the men will almost certainly finish their semi-final 5 or 10 minutes ahead of the women today. So here's Gauthier. We spoke to him yesterday after his first qualifying round. Quite an amusing story, actually. Only just made it to the wall on time to climb. Have a look on the IFSC Facebook page for more details. You'll be quite amused when you hear what he has to say. Didn't do his climb any harm though, qualified second.
They actually have a really efficient climbing style. He always finds the right fast solution for clipping. And he climbs tactically really brilliant.
So, Julia Chanaudy. It's all France on the wall at the moment. For those of you just tuning in this Sunday lunchtime, as it is here in Villars, we are on our 4th to last female competitor. That is Julia Chanaudy. Her compatriot Salome Roman leads the standings in the provisional women's results. On the left of the wall, we have the second to last male athlete, Gauthier Supper.
He's struggling at the moment a bit.
And after some terrible weather, we're bathed in beautiful sunshine. I've got Christian Bindhammer alongside me, who is watching Gauthier Supper almost certainly not make the final here. Not happy, Gauthier. Meanwhile, Julia taking advantage of a small rest before launching herself up this upper section of the wall. So the men's competition today will almost certainly finish slightly ahead of the women's. In the semi-finals, we have 1 climber left, that is Domen Skofic. In the women's competition, after Julia has finished her attempt, we will see Jane Kim, Anak Verhoeven and Janja Garnbret. Here is Domen. Won in Chamonix, took his second ever World Cup win. Climbing superbly, qualified first here. Surely the favourite of the competition. However, first job is to make it to the final. He's got 40 seconds when he comes out, just to have a final look at the route, and that's what he's doing now. He's just making the most of those 40 seconds.
La meilleure dans la manière de grimper, elle est très lente, très statique. Une main de fer dans un gant de velours, une beauté intégrale sponsorisée Red Bull, une star dans son pays. Vous allez chez elle, elle est de partout en ville. Petit gabarit coréen, big applause for Kim Yain.
So you probably heard from the venue MC, Jane Kim is out on the stage. So just to remind you, Jane Kim was third a few days ago in Chamonix. And second was Hannah Schubert. And the event was won by Janja Garnbret, and that is exactly the order they qualified in yesterday here in Villars, very much as you were in the women's competition. Jane Kim qualified third. Hannah Schubert qualified second, and Janja Garnbret continued her dominance of this season by qualifying first. She's had a clean sweep so far this season. Janja Garnbret first in the qualifiers, the semis and the finals in Chamonix, and she was first here in Villars. Nobody else yet at this early stage of the season has topped a single round of the women's lead competition. For now though, we focus on Domen Skofic. He's been making ample use of the heel hooks so far on this route. No issues so far for Domen. It would be a big surprise on current form if he did not make it through to tonight's final. I have to say it would be a big surprise if he wasn't high up the rankings in tonight's final, let alone making it.
Actually, he's in really, really big, good shape, and I'm really sure that he will do it in the finals this time.
We've already seen some surprise results. Guti Zupper will not be in tonight's final. Miracles aside, Ramonet and Sebastian Halenka certainly won't. Yuka Schubert, we think, has done enough. When we see some provisional results, we will let you know. Domen just getting himself organised here before committing to the final section of the black volumes and then the moves left.
Yeah, he found out that the situation was a little bit strange for him, and he had to change the hands so that he had with left the upper edge, and now he can cross.
And Domen, I'm pretty sure, has not done enough there. And he looks absolutely furious.
Oh, that's a big surprise, in my opinion.
It was a big jump from Domen, very committing, and he didn't make it work. For now, we focus on Jane Kim, bronze medalist from Chamonix. Climbing with that lovely slow, steady style of hers. Never makes the moves look especially hard, Jane Kim, just keeps on motoring.
Alors, climbers, be careful, you forgot some material in the isolation or mark the wall. Sunglasses, jacket, Japan jacket.
Jane Kim, no problems thus far.
Yeah, the clip was a little bit powerful, what she did.
Now she's reached what some of the athletes have used as a good resting spot here. She does take advantage of that. Third place overall lead World Cup winner in 2014, second last year to Mina Markovic.
Yeah, Jane, it looks always like it's not really an intense route, it's an easy route, always relaxed, and that's phenomenal for me.
Yeah, I have to say, if I could climb like one person, it would probably be Jane Kim. Everything just looks easy. I'm afraid when I climb, everything looks hard, but when it's Jane Kim, never really looks like she's struggling. When she does fall off, it often comes as a bit of a surprise. There's never any sign that there's much effort going in from her. There obviously is, but she's got a lovely smooth style. And so far looks completely untroubled on this route. Just got her leg behind the rope. Probably wants to get that free. It would be an awkward fall if she slipped now. Cruising onto the upper section of this women's route here in Villars.
Yeah, right, cruising is the right word.
Yeah, she's got the windows down, her arm is on the car door, she's cruising along. No problem so far for Jane Kim. And still, I have to say, very little sign of any effort so far. This really is an impressive performance for the overall champion of 2014.
Yeah, perfect climb.
Come on, Jane, we haven't seen a top in either route yet. Are we going to see one in the women's route here? After these small yellow crimps, she will move out left to that black volume.
Yes, now the next move is a critical one.
No problem so far.
Critical one. Come on.
Oh, and Jane Kim so close. Well, that's enough for the provisional lead. That will certainly be enough to see her into tonight's final. Before that, though, we have Domen Skofic available on the video link. Domen, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Thank you for talking to us.
Yeah, no problem.
Tell us what happened. We saw you jump for that move, and it just didn't quite work. Talk us through it.
Yeah, I don't know. It actually everything felt like a lot different than observation. I've been kind of lost, and I got in such a strange position that, yeah, all of a sudden, like my balance and everything, like put me down from the wall. So yeah, I mean, nowadays the routes are like boulders. So yeah, if you go for a wrong beta, you're out of the wall immediately. So yeah, I'm definitely not happy with my climbing today. But yeah, I mean, it's competition, so.
So we have the Briançon World Cup in a week or so. What do you do now? Do you think you can move on quite quickly? What do you need to do to feel better for Briançon?
Just forget this and yeah, I mean, do some trainings and yeah, it's another competition and another chance. So yeah, I did a mistake today, but yeah, I mean, I just have to forget it.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, because I guess my form is not different than Chamonix, so yeah, nothing is lost. So yeah, that's it.
I was about to say exactly the same thing. You climbed superbly a few days ago in Chamonix, so I'm sure you'll take that on to Briançon, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking to us, Domen.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Christian Bittenhammer alongside me, that was a big surprise, Domen Skofic.
Yeah, really big surprise, also in my opinion, because he was in really good shape, and I think, yeah, each route, each round, each climber, it can happen everywhere, you know, and so just concentrate for the next competition for him, and that's good, you know.
So we see there, Kichiro Kuranaga still leading the way. In fact, he will take the win. We've already had all our male climbers. We have two more females still to come. So the final tonight will be Kichiro Kuranaga, Sean McColl, Yuka Schubert, Tome Dan, and we lost our results then.
But 3 Japanese climbers in the final. This is what I had the feeling in the qualification, that the Japanese get quite good along with the holds, with the more slippery holds, and they are quite used to that style of holds, you know. So this is not a too big surprise for me that the Japanese are really strong here.
It's been superb in the bouldering this year. Miho Nanaka, Tomoe Narasaki, Kokoro Fuji all doing well. So while Anik Verhoeven is low on the route, it would be interesting to see that scoreboard again for the men. So we could just confirm the top 8 places.
Yeah, and this semi-final, it could be really, really important for her, because you see in Chamonix what happened, that 2 girls go in the final to the top, and I would say if you do a really good performance in the semi, in this quite hard route, maybe you are the only one which could top the route, you have a good bonus for the finals.
Yeah, we saw that last week in Chamonix. Anik Verhoeven, who we're seeing climb here, she topped the route in Chamonix, as did Janja Garnbret, but Janja Garnbret took the win because of countback to the semi-final, which so absolutely vital when the competition is this tight that you do well in the semi-final. It's not enough just to make it to the final. If you really are a contender to win one of these World Cups, a strong performance in the semi-final can really help you in the final. As we saw last week, Janja Garnbret won because of her performance in the semi-final. Anik Verhoeven, I have to say, last week in Chamonix, she absolutely cruised the route in the semi-final. One of the most extraordinary pieces of climbing we've seen for a long time in the IFSC Lead World Cups. Basically, didn't look as if she found it hard at all. Janja Garnbret also topped it, but I have to say, Janja looked as if she had to work harder for it. Anik in absolutely superb form. It'd be a major surprise if she didn't make this final.
Yeah, Janja slipped several times with the foot, so it was quite close to go down for her, and Anik looked really controlled in Chamonix.
She's maintaining that here. She's read the moves left through the volcanoes, and she's caught that very, very smooth climbing. This is exactly what we saw in Chamonix. She brought that form with her. Anik just trying to figure out these moves for the possibly slightly easier couple of meters before the top panel. Christian, you watched last week in Chamonix. You must have been very impressed with Anik's performance.
Yeah, we watched it from the live stream when we sat here to inform us before the competition, and we said, yeah, this was just easy to go, you know, for her. She could do some more moves.
It's. I said in commentary last week, I don't like to use the word easy, but she made it look easy. Yeah, the route actually looked very straightforward when she climbed it.
Yeah, and as a route setter, you always want to have just one at the top, of course. So I guess the route setter were not so happy, but both did a really good job in the finals.
I have to say, if anything, she climbed better than Janja in the final, but it's no points for climbing better, unfortunately for her.
It just counts the height, you know.
Exactly. And look, as composed as ever. You probably saw it a minute ago, even had a chance for a glance at her watch. Likes to keep up at a steady pace. She's doing that so far, looking in complete control. The crowd here having to look right into the sun to see Anik Verhoeven, but it's worth it because this is quite the display for the second World Cup running. Took silver in Chamonix. Can she go one better here? It'll certainly help if she can top this semi-final route. Still that smooth style, it doesn't look...
Incredibly strong, and I'm sure she can do the next move.
So this is the move that stopped Jane Kim.
Oh!
And it stops Hannah Schubert. That's more than enough to see her into the final. She's smiling. But she doesn't top the route. She lowers down right in front of us. As we watch that final move again, let's have a look at this. She went for it. Now, did she miss or did a foot slip? Let's have a look.
Yeah, the right foot slip away.
Yeah.
Right in the time when she already had the hold.
And look, I
so
think
she was on the hold and then the foot slip away, but the hold is not so good that if the foot go out, then that you can hold it, you know.
Okay, and we'll have a look at the provisional results. Of course, we only have one woman to go. The men's is complete, so we have Kichiro Koronaga, Sean McColl, Yuka Kobayashi, Tomo Yuan, Masahiro Higuchi, Sean Bailey, and Kokoro Fuji. Be good if we could see that graphic again, actually, just to confirm the final for you. So with one climber still to go, Janja Garnbret, Yuka Kobayashi, Christine Schranz, Magdalena Rock, Jessie Pilt. Yeah, it'd be good if we could keep these graphics up a bit longer, actually. And then we can confirm the results for you. Janja Garnbret just making her way out onto the stage. Hopefully we'll see the results again and for a bit longer this time. And we can confirm who our finalists will be. So Janja Garnbret. Garnbret, there she is, only 17 years old. Sensational so far. How's this for a history in World Cup? She's entered 4 World Cups in her career. The results were second, third and first. Not a bad start to your career. So, confirmation, Anna Verhoeven is followed by Jane Kim, Salome Roman, Jessie Pilt, Magdalena Rock, Christine Schranz and Yuka Kobayashi. Those 7 are guaranteed a place in the final. Eleni Yanako in 8th place can be knocked out by Janja Garnbret. Hannah Schubert, who had an early lead, is out. Mina Markovic, the reigning champion, she won't make it through. Meika Taki, also out. Katarina Posch will not make it either.
Domen, I want to hear you, Domen, huh?
We're just going to have a recap of the men's results. So there we have it. Kichiro Koronaga wins today's semi-final. He's followed by Sean McColl, Yuka Schubert, Tomo Joan, Masahiro Higuchi, Sean Bailey, Kokoro Fuji, and Urban Primozic. They will contest the final. Stefano Gisolfi does not make it. Domen Skofic does not make it. Neither does Gutier Zupper. Some big names missing from that men's final. Luc Timmermans also misses out, as does Ramon Julian, Sebastian Halenka. Men's final, absolutely wide open. That's going to be a fascinating event, shorn of some of the bigger names in the sport. As we watch Janja Garnbret, as I say, she's come first in every round we've had so far this season. So in Chamonix that was qualifying, semis and final. And the qualifiers here in Villars she also topped. She will either have to top the route or come extremely close to doing so to win the semi-final today. But if anyone's capable of it, it's her. No issues so far. We see her just slipping on one of the low friction areas of these holes. We discussed it earlier. The holds here, very low friction apart from the very centre, the hole in the middle.
Right, but this was quite controlled. No problem for her.
I think she was just trying it. Just trying the friction, and there was none.
Now she's doing a little bit the wrong sequence.
Yeah, ideally where her left hand is now. Christian Bindhammer, IFSC route setter and veteran competitor alongside me, says it should be the right hand, and Jana agrees.
Now she changed back. Now she's in the sequence.
Allez, pour Janja, s'il vous plaît, on va la pousser avec un arrêté. Vous allez voir. Oui, ah oui, ah ça c'est bon, ça les colloquiers.
Of course, as a route setter, I hope for the top on this route now.
Yeah, so we have no men top their route.
Yes, right.
But Janja Garnbret, if anyone can top this women's route, it's her. Foot just cut loose there, but she stays on.
She's climbing a different style to Anak, more dynamic and more powerful.
And the venue MC here in Villars just singing along to the radio. I think he should probably stick to MCing, to be honest. Not got the voice for singing. He's a great MC though. So Janja still in control at this stage. I have to say, it would be a huge surprise if Janja wasn't to make it through. She can displace Ellen Yannico, who is currently sitting in 8th position in this women's semi-final. If Janja, will displace her if she makes the final. I'm pretty sure she's already done enough. So Ellen Yannico will almost certainly miss out, and Yuka Kobayashi will end up 8th. Yes, she has done enough. Can she top the route though?
I hope she will top it.
Yes. Keep up this extraordinary run of winning every round she enters in the IFSC Lead World Cup so far. Yep, Janja Garnbret will be in the final. So to give you some idea, Hannah Schubert got this large black volume to the left of Janja, and she made a dynamic move from there and touched the next hole but fell off. So that's to give you some idea of where Hannah got to. Okay, you see the yellow hole that Hannah reached. Just above her it says entreprise on the centre of the wall. There it is, that hole there.
So now that's the move. Come on.
This is a move Hannah couldn't do. Janja can.
Yes, come on. Oof.
Oh, Janja, that was a big fall from Janja Garnbret. Let's have a watch of this again. So this move that she's going for here, this was the move that Hannah Schubert slipped off on. So Janja.
Yeah, right. It's a very dynamic move.
Nailed
and
it.
You see that the foot stays on the foothold, and that was the important thing. But it's a very selective move, you know.
And then she had to go with the left hand and almost made it stick. It looked like she thought she had it and wasn't really prepared to fall. And
yeah,
it'd be good to see that last move if we can. Let's have another look. So here's the move that stopped Hannah Schubert. You see Janja was close to coming off. Her hips moved right out, but she made it stick.
Right, and then you have to put the left foot to the hand.
Now this would be
to the left hand. And she did that wrong.
Ah.
She was, because you have to put a foot hook on the left black volume. And then you can do this move static, because the next hold is also very flat.
So there we have it, great semi-final. Janja Garnbret keeping us intrigued right until the end there. Very close to topping. So just to confirm, the top 8 men who will contest the final this evening in Villars: Kochiro Korinaga, Sean McColl, Yuka Schubert, Toma Ioannis, Masahiro Higuchi, Sean Bailey of the USA, Kokoro Fuji, Urban Primozic are the 8 men that will contest it. Stefano Jasovic just misses out in 9th. Domen Skofic misses out 13th. Gutierrez Zuppa 14th. Some big names missing, as I say, Ramane and Sebastian Helanka both missing from tonight's final. We see them down there. Sebastian Helanka, 26th place. He's, we believe, carrying a small finger injury, but I don't think that contributed. I'll try and catch a word with him later and I will find out for you. And we'll have a look at the women's results. So there you have it, Janja Garnbret continues her record of winning every round of the IFSC Lead World Cups that she enters. Anna Verhoeven is still second and Jane Kim is third. So we see that. Some of the bigger names missing from that women's top 8. Be good just to see that women's top 8 again. And there it is, Salome Roman is 4th. Jessie Piltz will take 5th. Magdalena Rock in 6th. Christine Schrantz in 7th. And Yuka Kobayashi takes 8th. Ellen Yaniko was in 8th. Janja Garnbret knocked her out. And she was the last climber on the wall. Mina Markovic, the notable absentee. There she is in 15th. Reigning champion does not make it through to the final. So I believe we're going to be able to grab a word with Janja Garnbret when she's cooled down and made her way to our interview station. So Christian Bindhammer alongside me, fantastic semi-final. What do you make of Janja Garnbret this year?
Yeah, she's young, she's strong, and she's fresh in the head. So normally she could, be the winner of this season.
And in the men's competition, a lot of the bigger names missing. Unfortunately, Sebastian, who you went to cheer on. It's going to be a very open final in the men's competition tonight. Is there anybody you think really impressed you today?
For me, the Japanese team was really strong. 3 are now in the final. So I think they have a little bit advantage now with a big team in the final and with the strongest performance in the semi. So probably we will see a Japanese gain here in Villars.
Sean McColl was the first climber that really nailed that cross-through move. He looked really confident today when we spoke to him. He seemed in great form. Can he win his first World Cup of the year, do you think?
Of course, also Sean is for me one of the favorite climbers.
Promises to be a fascinating final tonight, 8 p.m. live from Villars. That is 8 p.m. local time. And I believe that we're very close to being able to go over to Janja. About to speak to Janja Garnbret, who so far has topped the qualifiers, semis and finals and in Chamonix. And in Villars, she's topped the qualifiers and the semi-finals. So the clean sweep of every round so far. Janja, can you hear me?
Hello, yeah.
You were very close to topping that route. Just talk us through the last move.
Yeah, it was so close, but I don't know, it was so slippery and I couldn't stuck that move. So yeah, I thought that the last hold is better, but it was not. So yeah, I slipped.
And it looked as if you weren't expecting to fall and you fell a bit strangely. Are you injured? Are you okay from the fall?
No, I'm okay. My elbow hurts just a little bit, but I'm okay.
Now, you must be incredibly confident for the final tonight.
Yes, I am. I will do my best.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you. We will see you at 8 p.m. Best of luck and congratulations on another great performance.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we will have the final live from Villars here at 8 p.m. We hope you can join us. It promises to be a cracker. See you then.
See you.